We are now in week number 2 of LHSAA football here in the state of Louisiana. And the Hash It Out Show game of the week is rolling for week 2 with some very, very good matchups. And we got a big one Friday night for the first time ever. We will have the 2025 Railroad Classic between the St. James Wildcats and the West St. John Rams. We're here with the head coach of the St. James Wildcats, and I'm gonna get this name right. Coach Lavanta Davis. What's going on, man?
How you doing, my brother? All is well, man. I appreciate you.
Good, good. And I'm glad we're on the same page because you make sure everybody says your first name right. So we're off to a good start. But it's good to have you on, man. But first of all, gotta ask you, now you're really, really acclimated. This is year number what, 4, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
Year
I live
4.
back sometime.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I know you've been St. James for years with year 4 as head coach. And, so far, it's been everything kind of been on schedule for your team and everything. And a huge statement win last week against East St. John. Your thoughts on last week's game? What's some of the good things you've seen, and what's some of the mistakes you might have seen that you want to really try to fix?
Uh, well, some of the good things that I've saw from last week was our kids competed. They played with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. It was a real physical ball game. East St. John is always physical. Coach Brown does a good job with his program, even though he's hit a couple bumps in the road. But you always got to bring your hard hat when you play those guys. Those kids play hard over there. They were physical, and it was a good week 1 test for us. Defensively, we flew around to the ball well. Uh, sorry about that. We flew around to the ball well. Offensively, we put up a few points, but it's definitely some things we need to clean up on as far as offense goes, just with getting us off schedule with a couple pre-snap penalties. Uh, but we did get better in some spurts. Came out the gate flying. First possession, we got a touchdown, but they were pretty sound up front, and it gave us some of the things we wanted to do. So we got to get better in that area there. But all those things are fixable. Like I said, defensively, we flew around to the ball well, but up front, we did a decent job of trying to establish a line of scrimmage. But that's some things that we have to continue to work on, and it's good to continue to work on those things coming off of a win.
Well, your team, very, very good team, a good bit of experience last year, a very, very young squad that you led them to the Superdome, getting to the state championship. But this season, a lot of learning from last year, and these guys a year now under their belts. What are your thoughts on how this veteran team is starting to grow up in front of your eyes right now?
We had a good off season. Brought the bulk of our skill back offensively. We have another year with our sophomore quarterback who's able to gel a little more. And like as I've stated, our offense coordinator does a real good job with just slowly bringing Juwan along. But now it's turning him loose a little more, giving him a little more responsibility, which he's taking on that task. So again, we had a decent summer and built some continuity within that. So if again to piggyback off of last week or to touch on last week, we didn't turn the ball over. So that's always good, and we want to create a lot of explosive plays offensively, which we were able to do. So we're going to continue to build on that on the offensive side, seeing as though we bring a lot of our skill guys back. As I mentioned, Juwan Jackson. Then, of course, we have our slot. We move them around a lot in Jakias Villanova. We have a real good running back in Kanai King Young. Kanye Zenon is coming along. We got a senior veteran as well as Landon Gravois, and a few more sprinkle of young guys that come in, and Cayman Mitchell that comes in and he contributes well as well. So we definitely want to build off that offensively, and defensively we want to try to get the ball back to our offense as much as possible and allow them to be special.
Very much agreed, and a lot of weapons to choose more than anything else on the offensive side of the ball and everything. And Jakai Villanova. That very interesting athlete itself. I thought the guy was a graduate, and kind of find out, oh, he was just a junior last year. I'm like,
Yeah,
whoa, man. But it's amazing that he's back. Kenny King Young is another guy. Seeing him a couple years ago, I mean, his growth has been something else. I mean, what a spark that you have on your team with Kenny King Young.
yeah. The good thing about Kanai is that he has a good IQ for the game of football. But in terms of his position that he plays, he possesses all those attributes that make for a good back. He catches the ball well out the backfield. He runs between the tackle well, and he has this sudden change of direction to where he'll make one guy miss and continue to accelerate up the field. So he's a handful in itself. So if when we're able to run the ball effectively with him, that just opens everything else up for Juwan and those skill guys that we have on the outside.
Very much agree. Defensively, good bit of experience back. Tell us a bit about the defense side of the ball and who is leading the way for the Wildcats defense.
Yeah, I was interesting. Real excited about our front. We got some guys that's getting first year experience in terms of being starters. So I think we had a good summer in there, but it's week to week with those guys, and I think the sign of a well coached ball club is week to week you get better. So we're looking forward to getting better up front with those guys. Along the defensive line, we have Xavier Anderson, we have Chase Gasson, James Rose, and we have a first year starter and kid's pretty much in love with basketball, Demonte Lemar. So it's a learning process for him, and you can see on film if you really pay attention to it, that he possessed a lot of potential to be disruptive. And if we're able to do those things up front, it makes it easier. Yeah, we returned Nolan Zenner in the middle, was defensive MVP in the state championship game. He's a smart kid, brings some leadership amongst that linebacker group, which everything else is pretty much new. We return in Jai Blaine, our outside safety, who plays the game the right way, practices the right way. We returned Dow Jasmine. We ended up moving Dow from corner to safety. So and everybody else is just pretty much first year guys. But Malik stepped in. Our weak safety stepped in from an injury last year mid season, and there's another student of the game, real smart kid inside the classroom as well as on the field, and he gained a lot of experience last year. So we got three systems in play in all three phases, and we're just trying to build on those three systems and continue to grow week to week.
Let's talk about the big game versus the West St. John Rams coming up, go on the road over at West St. John. I tell you, it's been a good festive game every year with you guys and everything else. What's going to make it a little different this year? Don't what do you think is going to be different with this battle between West St. John and St. James?
I think last year we didn't get an opportunity to play. Uh, if you look at them from last year to this year, they're definitely an improved ball club. I think coach is doing a good job with his ball club. They're a good-looking bunch on the film for a 1A ball club. They look, they have good size. Uh, so I think it's going to be an interesting ball game. And whenever you play, in the Railroad Classic, those rivalry games or those games that people, in the community get excited about always makes for an interesting game. But we got to block out all that noise and just focus on the task at hand and just understand the fundamentals of football are going to be there, and we need to be able to execute the fundamentals of it, and the rest will take care of itself.
Understandable, and this rivalry has been going on for years, and then all of a sudden it was renamed to the Railroad Classic, and it was at one time there was a phrase they one of your former cohorts, Robert Valdez, they called it the
Yeah,
Robert Valdez Classic because pretty much got victories on both sides of the teams. I've never
yeah,
seen that before in a
yeah,
rivalry. But regardless of the fact, St. James has been on most of the victories, but there are a couple times West St. John been getting victories, but it's always a huge game in the community.
absolutely. So it's gonna make up for a good ball game. Uh, just want to approach it week to week. And right now, West St. John is our opponent this week, so our focus is there, man. Just trying to be better day by day.
How do you think the atmosphere is going to be Friday night in Edgard? I know a lot of folks from the Vacherie area, downtown Vacherie, is gonna make their way down to Edgard and partake in some little bit of pregame and all that stuff before things
Hmm.
get started. But I know both fan bases really, really going to get fired up for Friday's game.
Yeah, both fan bases are passionate about their football team, so we expect a good crowd there. They're coming off a loss, so they're going to be anxious to get back on the win side of the column, and we got to be conscious and aware of those things. So, but I think it's going to be a great atmosphere to be a part of.
Very much agreed. Friday night, the 2025 Railroad Classic between the St. James Wildcats and the West St. John Rams will be on JB or Sports Guy. It'll be countdown to kickoff at 6:45. The kickoff will be at 7 o'clock. We will have a big time ball game on Friday night. Looking forward to bringing it to you. And Coach Lavanta, thank you so much for letting us come and be a part of this ball game and everything. We'll definitely have you on one more time this season. So Lavanta Davis, head coach of the St. James Wildcats. Thank you so much.